What's going on, everybody? Ed0626, and I'm in the Hornet's Nest in this Modern Warfare 2 remastered mission. So, let's just cut to the chase. In August, 24th or 25th of last year, I made a video talking about StoryFire and how it was this, seemingly brand new, platform that suddenly became popular. I don't know how, I don't know why, I still don't know how or why, but all of a sudden I realized, or all of a sudden this platform started becoming popular in the summer. And I made a video about how, some of the things I liked about it, some of the things that were interesting, but one of the main topics of the actual video was how I felt its business practice. While it was sort of, I sort of understand it, at the same time, I really didn't think it was very creator friendly, and I expressed my issues with that, and I expressed my concerns with that. Well, lo and behold, to the surprise of absolutely no one, I think, StoryFire is now no more, and I believe the 1st of February, this platform is going to be more or less shut down. I've already removed all my stuff from it. I've already removed it from my little document where I have all the links to my Twitter and all my other social media links to the podcast and stuff like that. So I was right. I'm not surprised, and I'm going to tell you guys why I'm somewhat upset about the fact that it's gone, and why I'm angry at the people who were in charge of it for even allowing it to get to this point. Because, like I said before, in the summer of last year, like July or something like that, this platform had a lot of momentum behind it. There were a lot of big name people that got signed to, I don't know if they had contracts or what, but they were allowed to post or stuff like that. All of a sudden, these big name YouTubers and these big, who were a part of FaZe and Optic, and Keemstar was on there, Optimus was on there when I talked about in the last video. So I can't imagine why, for some reason, that this would go downhill, because it seemed as though going into the fall that they were going to have a lot of momentum and they could possibly compete with other bigger name platforms like Twitch, like YouTube. And I was just happy to have an alternative to something. But the problem I had was their process of even allowing you to get on the platform is fucking borderline stupid. It's not creator friendly. In what world do you have to sign for you have to sign an application or fill out an application to allow yourself, a creator, to be a part of the platform? And I wasn't too naive to this, where it's like they're only allowing these bigger guys because it's money. They're bringing money to the platform, and hopefully that this platform can stay a while, to the point where then smaller creators can then later make a name for themselves. But to be honest with you, shortly after I uploaded that video, in the fall and such, that's when I pretty much gave up all hope, because I had signed that shit in July. And if I wasn't hearing anything back by October, I said to myself, this platform's done. And the fact that it didn't die sooner is shocking, in all honesty. I'm really shocked that this platform didn't die sooner, considering that, as far as I know, no other person had even been allowed to be on the platform, other than the bigger name guys. And even the bigger name guys pretty much caused it to fail, because from what I understand, a lot of those people even stopped posting on the platform entirely, because there was no fucking way to make money off it. Either there was no way to make money off it, or they saw the writing on the wall and stuff like that. See, this is what I fucking bothers me about these platforms that come up. They show up and they expect to just compete. Like I said, McJuggerNuggets is basically the main guy, or the guy that either created or was the main guy funding this shit, and he's expecting to just compete with YouTube. And I think a lot of these people were expecting to just compete, and they were all hyping it up. It's oh, this is a great platform, stuff like that. And on paper, it was a good platform. I mean, the idea of bringing video writing and then what was the other one? Social media altogether in a seemingly toxicless environment, as far as I was aware, was nice. You know, it was a nice change of pace to the norm that we are all so used to being a part of, whether it's YouTube or whether it's, you know, any other social media that's around. You know, it was nice to see that there was not really much toxicity from what I could tell. And yeah, there may be a couple toxic videos I saw on the platform through other people that were allowed to come on there. You know, after all, Drama Alert Keemstar was a part of the platform, and it wasn't even just Keemstar I'm referencing. It was another guy, I won't name names, but I can't understand why a lot of these people just, they show up, they realize that there's really nothing for them here. You know, they hype it all up for a couple months, but then when they realize that the writing's on the wall, that this isn't going to succeed, they just stop. And I was seeing some stuff from people online where it was like, yeah, I mean, of course it failed. People stopped posting on there months ago. And I did a little research on that. It turns out I was more or less right. A lot of people that I did see stopped posting on there at the end or towards the end of last year. So, I mean, again, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I'm not going to say I told you so, but that's not really the whole point of this video. The point of the matter is like, this failure of StoryFire should not be surprising to a lot of people. Should it be upsetting to some people? Yes. Should it be surprising? No. Because again, when you try to compete with Google and YouTube and all these other, you know, platforms and such, with your main focuses being competing against these key guys that I just mentioned, you're gonna fail. You're just gonna fail. I mean, instead of trying to build up something, as they marketed it quite poorly, to be honest with you. From what I understand, it was marketed as an alternative, which is good. You know, obviously people want an alternative, but at that point I feel like a lot of the community centered around StoryFire was more or less so concerned, at least from what I noticed personally, as just trying to beat YouTube. That was their goal, was trying to be or beat YouTube. So when that's the focus of something, you're not going to succeed, in my honest opinion. I don't have a business degree in anything, but from what I do know from business, imitation is not only like the sincerest form of flattery in regards to the actual saying, but imitation is just like, okay, you know, I could just get this, I could just go to this or get this, which is more or less the same product with more name brand value, like YouTube. YouTube is a more recognizable name brand. People, when you think of YouTube, you know exactly what that is. When you think of StoryFire, you have to have it explained to you. You have to be like, what the fuck is StoryFire? I ain't never heard of that shit. That's exactly, I think, what a lot of people were also like too. Like, StoryFire, as much hype as they generated towards the summer, no one still knew what the fuck it was. I don't even know how many people actually signed up to try and be a part of stuff. And that's the last thing I want to touch on, was the creator aspect. And again, this was my other biggest worry. Not allowing smaller creators to take advantage of something like this, where at least they could get their names out there before the collapse, so to speak. The looming collapse. You allow people who are bigger names. Like I said, it's not a bad business practice to allow people to bigger names to bring recognition to your brand. People do it all the time. The problem was they didn't allow smaller creators to take advantage of that. Now, there are some people in the last video I talked about in August. One guy was telling me how he's been on the platform forever, and I didn't even know it was like 3 years or something. I didn't even know the fucking thing was around for 3 years. And he was kind of trying to help me he was trying to explain to me about like the whole process of stuff like that. I was just like, okay, that's cool and all, but at least in my head I was like, okay, that's cool and all, but when are they actually gonna fucking do it? You know? I can't imagine, and especially since considering the application was not run by some sort of computer, that's a problem. The fact that they probably didn't have the manpower to allow the actual, applications to get pushed through a lot quicker. So essentially, they built up this platform as something for people to grow and be a part of and stuff like that. Meanwhile, no one's really growing and being a part of anything because no one knows, or no one's allowed to fucking post on the actual platform. So I think it was just fucking dumb. again, it was an experiment gone horribly wrong. And I don't know, again, apparently StoryFire has been around a lot longer than I originally thought. I thought it was only around for like maybe 9 months. Apparently it's been around for like 2 to 3 years. And again, to the surprise of no one, it failed because I'm pretty sure a lot of other platforms that were around for around the same time failed because of, issues like funding and such, because whatever reason. Like, look at Mixer. That's what another thing. Like, look at Mixer and look at what they tried to do. They tried to be a Twitch alternative, and while it was all well and good, at the end of the day, they shut down their program and they became part of Facebook Gaming. Now, apparently, Facebook Gaming is quite popular. I personally am not like the biggest fan of it, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I'm just saying, like, Mixer is another great example. They tried to compete with people like Twitch. I think it got a lot more recognition. And I think it got a lot more. I think it had a lot more hype around it than StoryFire did. But at the end of the day, it just didn't pull through like a lot of people wanted it to, or even a lot of people knew it was probably not going to pull through. But who knows? I just think at the end of the day, StoryFire being gone is a shame for the content creating community, because I think it was good to have a opportunity to have a different platform out there. At the same time, they failed tremendously with trying to market that for smaller creators, because their process of even creating, even allowing them to be on the platform was one of the key things that are a failure. Because once people realized that this was going to either take longer than what they wanted to get on the platform, or it was going to seemingly never going to happen, people gave up on the fucking thing because they realized that they just don't give a shit. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit here for 4 or 5 months waiting for a fucking application? No, fuck that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I did. I pretty much did the exact same thing. So that's all I have to say about the StoryFire thing. Rest in peace, I guess, but at the same time, this shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Peace out. I'll see you all in the next one.